Ever dream of taking your furry best friend on an international trip? It's an amazing idea, right? A grand adventure? But, like any great quest, you're gonna need a map. In this explainer, we're gonna give you that map. We'll break down every single step to get you and your pet ready for takeoff. So, say hello to our brave adventurers, Louie the dog and Mitzi the cat. They're itching to see the world, and this guide, well, it's their and your step-by-step plan to make it happen. We're going to follow their journey all the way from the vet's office right to the departure gate. And look, the thought of seeing Paris with your poodle or Rome with your cat is just incredible. But let's be real, it takes time, it takes patience, and it absolutely takes a solid plan. So what's the most important thing to remember? Start early and follow every step to the letter.
Okay, every great quest has a first hurdle, a first gate you've got to pass through. For traveling with your pet internationally, that gate is vaccinations. This is the absolute 100% non-negotiable starting point for any trip.
The single most important piece of paper you're going to need is proof of a valid rabies vaccination. But here's the catch, and trust me, a lot of people get tripped out by this. For travel, these shots are only considered valid for 1 year. It doesn't matter if your vet says it's a 3-year vaccine. For travel, it's 1 year. This makes your timing absolutely critical, right from the get-go. So let's see how this plays out for our 2 travelers. For Louie the dog, you need that rabies vaccine, plus an updated dog license. And that license has to have all the details: the vaccine batch number, the vet's signature, and their official stamp. Now for Mitzi the cat, it's a bit easier. She just needs the vaccine and a microchip. No license required for her. All right, you've cleared the first gate. Awesome. But if Europe is on your map, get ready for the next big checkpoint, the rabies antibody titer test. You might hear it called the RAT. Seriously, think of this test as your pet's passport to Europe. It's a blood test that proves the rabies vaccine is actually working like it's supposed to. Pretty much every country on the continent demands it. If you don't have the certificate, your European adventure stops before it even starts. Okay, the timing on this is everything, so listen up. The clock starts ticking on day 0. That's the day your pet gets the rabies shot. You must wait at least 30 days after that before you can get the blood drawn for the antibody test. From that 30-day mark, you have until the 1-year anniversary of the shot to get it done. And if you miss that window, guess what? You're starting all over again from scratch.
Now here's the amazing part. Do this right once, and that certificate is good for your pet's entire life. The only catch, and it's a big one, you have to keep their annual rabies booster shots perfectly on time. I mean, if you're even a single day late, that lifetime certificate is no longer valid. So set those reminders.
So, what do you actually need for the test appointment itself? It's a pretty simple checklist, actually. First, make an appointment and make sure you give them at least half an hour. You'll need to bring your passport. You'll also need a way to pay the fee. And obviously, you've got to bring your pet. The good news is no fasting is needed beforehand. And of course, the big question, how much is this going to set you back? Well, you'll want a budget around the equivalent of $200 for the test, but that can change depending on where you are. It's a really important investment in your travel plans, and you should get the results back by email in about 2 weeks. Okay, the antibody test is done, the results are in, you're ready to book those tickets, right? Well, not so fast. Now we enter the next phase of the journey, the waiting game. Yep, 3 full months. This waiting period starts on the exact date the blood sample was taken for the test, and it's a super strict international rule. It's all about preventing the spread of rabies and making sure any hidden infection would show up long before your pet travels. And I've got to stress this. This rule is set in stone. There are no shortcuts, no exceptions, no way to speed it up. You absolutely have to factor these 3 months into your travel plans from the very beginning. So please, plan accordingly. The long wait is finally over. Your departure date is getting close, and you can almost taste the adventure. Now it's time for the final few steps before Louis and Mitzi can officially earn their wings. Here's what your final countdown looks like. About 2 weeks before your flight, you're going to call your clinic to schedule the final export health exam. That appointment has to happen sometime between 7 and 9 days before you fly. Get that done, and you are officially ready for your adventure to begin. And for that final vet visit, you've just got a little bit of homework to do. You'll need to send the clinic a copy of your passport and your address at your destination ahead of time. Then, for the appointment itself, just bring your credit card details, your pets, and yeah, a good dose of patience for all that final paperwork. Okay, last but not least, every good adventurer needs some special intel, right? Because let's face it, not every trip is the same, and the rules we've covered are a great starting point, but they don't cover every single scenario. Here's some key intel you need to know. First, costs are going to change depending on where you're going. Second, and this is a big one for anyone heading to the US, the process can be different, especially for dogs, so you have to check the specific requirements. And if you're thinking South America or Asia, the rules can be a whole different ballgame. So, what's the ultimate rule of pet travel? Always, always call and confirm the specific rules for your pet and your final destination. And there you have it, the complete map for Louie and Mitzi's Great Escape. You know, it's a journey of paperwork, a lot of patience, and a whole lot of preparation. But for the chance to see the world with your best friend right there with you, it's worth every single step. So that just leaves one question. Where will your adventure begin?